Switch 2.
I love it.
Amazing, amazing.
I love it.
Going live.
Yep, absolutely.
No. Well, do it live! Fuck it! Do it live!
We'll do it live. Do it live. Hey, and welcome back to Talk a Better Politics. This is a podcast with a number that I don't know. And yeah, I'm SirFelixTheCat. I am the king. And we have Hawk here. How's your day going?
Wonderful. How's yours?
Oh, just great. And how is Pinky's day going? Hope it's going well. In the terrible state, and I apologize you have to be there. But yeah, today we are going to talk about protests and how fantastic they are. How much great thank you. And how much great things they do. How just extremely beneficial they are to us in the current days. And yeah, before we get into that, let's do some news. So, here's a fun one. A country music singer goes viral for Donald Trump MAGA rant. You are not Christian. Basically, this dude, Zach Bryan, comes out with a song called Brand News. And it's basically just bashing MAGA for how the fact that they're down with all these, well, sorry, not just MAGA, the Christian right, with how they're so down with the deportations and how it's like the most un-Christ-like thing you could do, because if anybody read the Bible, they'd understand that's not how you treat your neighbor.
Yeah.
But, you know, racist be racist. It's caused quite a backlash, though, because usually it's the far right that listens to country, because country does have its roots in like racism and misogyny and all that stuff. Yeah, it's
American
been
country anyway.
Yeah, American country. It's got quite a big backlash, and I support this guy's move of coming out and being like, hey, you know, you guys are douchebags and not following what you're supposed to believe in.
They don't believe in anything.
Yeah, they believe in Trump.
Oh, if they actually fucking bothered to, you know, teach themselves how to be literate, they wouldn't believe anything that they say they do, but they're too illiterate and too closeted and too retarded to fucking know any better, so...
Yep.
Fuck them. Let's
Yep.
face them. That's my public opinion.
Next one is Zelensky paints meeting with Trump as a success. Touts new Patriot system. So I don't quite believe this article, like this title whatsoever, because basically the whole meeting was Trump saying, give up your land to Putin. Give up your land to Putin. Give up your land to Putin. We'll give you these missiles if you give up your land to Putin.
Yeah,
Zelensky caved.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I mean, what else is he going to do? Because we're giving him the sole ability to defend his country. So, like, without our weapons and tax dollars and soldiers going over there to quote-unquote advise, aka fight, without that, Russia would have fucking steamrolled half of Ukraine at this point, because they've got, like, 80-year-olds on the front line now. The Ukrainians, anyway, because they're running out of fucking people. I mean, it's down to trench warfare in eastern Ukraine, so... Like, I've seen fucking days worth of combat footage there. It's not pretty. So, without us, they're fucked. So yeah, he has to suck Trump's dick, effectively.
Yeah, he's given up Budapest, which is interesting. Yeah, Budapest talks. He's open to it. I didn't know Budapest was Ukraine, but maybe I'm just mistaken on my maps. But yeah, he's definitely, it's a multi-year deal with the Patriot air system, or like missile defense system.
Budapest is in Hungary, I'm pretty sure.
That's what I thought. But he's open to Budapest talks. Maybe it's a meeting with Putin?
Yeah, maybe they just are gonna meet in Budapest, because I know that's kind of been a thing historically. Like, it's a pretty fucking important city, you know, internationally. So that's probably what they're talking about. Nobody's gonna take Budapest.
Yeah, I'm trying to see where they said the amount of land he has to give up.
Probably
I don't
a
see anything
sliver.
calling out.
So, Putin's goals, at least from what he's done, as far as we can tell by looking at what he's done, one of his goals is to get a land route from Russia to fucking that peninsula on the bottom of Ukraine. I forget what it's called. Oh, my mic is a little low. Hold on. Let me see if shit. I don't know. Maybe I'll talk a little closer to it. Fucking the peninsula on the bottom of Ukraine. The Crimean Peninsula, that's it. Russia wants a land route to Crimea because a fuckload of grains are grown in Crimea. It's a very fertile land, like fucking 60% of the world's grain comes from there. So Putin wants a sliver of land that goes to Crimea so he could ship a lot of that shit out, and that's why there's been a lot of fighting over Crimea. He also wants, like, he would love to go to Kiev because he sees Kiev as part of, or Kyiv, whatever the fuck they're calling it today. He sees that as part of Russia because basically it goes back, like, historically speaking, if anything, the Russians are Ukrainian. It's not that the Ukrainians are Russian, because the Ukrainians were the ones who kind of like moved into Russia and established the culture there. So historically speaking, so it's a whole cultural bullshit thing.
Yes, and thank you everybody, Sparrow, Cat, and Pinky. And no, the crown's because I'm king. There was a protest against me this weekend. If you guys didn't hear, they didn't want me to be king. That's pretty shameful because I am the king.
The Burger King.
Yeah. I ate the burgers.
Superior to McDonald's. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. Burger King shits on McDonald's, dude.
Absolutely. Witkoff, Kushner meet with Benny Boy in Israel as clashes test Trump's Gaza peace deal.
What fucking peace deal?
It's the thing he's been touting for about a week now. He brought peace to the Middle East because of this whole Gaza. What's he calling it? The Trump Gaza or something like that?
I forget, some shit like that. Yeah.
They finally came to agreement where Benny Boy was like, yeah, absolutely, we'll help this. So I mean, they're still killing Palestinians because they're genocidal maniacs and Nazis. So they're definitely gonna go after them still. But they're claiming it as peace.
Yeah,
like
they're gonna
Hamas
call it.
Said they're gonna let it go through essentially.
Oh, Hamas has no fucking say at this point. They just don't.
Yeah.
Like Hamas is a band of fucking ragtag people who with a dream and some AKs. Like Hamas isn't doing shit at this point, so it doesn't really like there's nothing for them to come to the table with. And even if they want to try to come to the table with the fucking hostages that probably aren't alive anymore, Israel has demonstrated like 12 different times they do not give a fuck about the hostages that Hamas may or may not have. So, Israel will play its game and say that they're looking for peace while they just continue to fucking kill kids. So,
yeah. And I mean, Gaza itself is basically just flattened at this point. There's just rubble. That's all there is to it.
There's nothing left in Gaza. It's just rubble, like you said.
Yep. And good old Kushner's going because there's money to be made for him.
Man, fuck Kushner. Fuck all these people.
He has no business being there, but by golly, he's going to be there.
He's a robot, dude. Or an alien. I don't think he's human.
And this one is a story about a blank screen. All right. Representative Scott Perry, a Pennsylvania Republican, says Democrats hate the military because we have to be as, suck-uppy to Trump as possible and just repeat what he says. They hate the military, Perry. Oh, come on. I was going to read that, but yeah. Basically, it's saying that if you're a Democrat, if you're not a Republican, you hate the military.
I've said this before, not on the show, I think, but like I have a lot of family members that were in the military, different branches. Like my dad was a Marine. Sorry, I should say is a Marine because once a Marine, always a fucking Marine. Fuck off. So my dad was in the Marine Corps. My aunt was in the Air Force. My cousin was in the Air Force. A kind of like pseudo adopted sister that I have was in the Marine Corps. She saw combat in Afghanistan, I believe. Fucking my grandfather served in Vietnam. He was part of the, I think, 7th or 1st Air Cav, one of the fuckers. The first people who officially fought the Vietnamese. He came back all fucked up. Like, a lot of people in my family have been in the military. I tried to join the military, but I couldn't for a couple of reasons. They wouldn't have me. They weren't desperate enough at the time. So, and I'm glad for it at this point. I would have had to have get a letter from a congressman to fucking go through with it. But I was ready to go. I was ready to go overseas and be a fucking boot for the machine because I was stupid. So I don't blame the soldiers because they're sold the lie. You know what I mean? Yeah. They're stupid, and I don't mean that in a bad way. Like, they're just ill-informed, and they're sold this lie from corporations and the government that is owned by these corporations, that doing the bidding of these corporations in lieu of the government is, some kind of good thing defending freedom, and they believe that until they actually get shot at, and then most of them come back and realize it's all bullshit.
Yeah, pretty much.
So we don't hate the military. We hate the use of the military. The people running the fucking military. That's what we hate.
Yeah, like that douchebag failed Fox News reporter guy, Hegstuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And, like, as much of a front as they like to put out, I would guess that the majority of the military does not, lick Trump's boots. Like, yes, there are a fuckload of, gun identity nuts who, would suck Trump off if given the opportunity, who would kill for him if given the opportunity, that are in the military. Usually, the more specialized people tend to be fucking crazy right-wingers. But, your average soldier, they're not as politically involved as you'd think. And there's a lot of leftists in the military, too. It's more split than you'd think at face value.
Yeah. Yep. But speaking of Republicans, another blank screen. Dude, I just had these loaded like a minute ago. Oh yeah, the great story about the young Republicans in their group chat and all that hilariousness about how they're Nazis.
Yeah.
And don't try to hide it at all. Even though one of them in one of the messages said, it'd be so bad for us if these, messages ever got leaked. And I'm assuming he's the one who leaked them. It just...
I don't know.
Kind of adds up.
I mean, it could be anybody. I don't fucking know who leaked this shit at this point.
Yeah, it all, there we go. In which participants called an internal rival a fat, stinky Jew.
Wow. They
used a lot of other terms for calling black people monkeys. Like, if I, instead of watching the NBA, if I wanted to see a monkey play with the ball, I'd go to the zoo, something like that. Terrible, horrible, just racist nonsense. And yeah, great. I love Hitler.
Yeah. Did you see that, I think it was a congressman or something, some guy put out a fucking message and behind him was a swastika in the American flag?
Yeah. Yep,
Did you see
a
that
Republican
shit?
Congressman.
We just openly have Nazis in our government at this point, and I'm sorry, but, America was the fucking, capital of anti-fascism 80 years ago, let's say, give or take. You know what I mean? We murdered these fuckers en masse in their millions. We invaded Europe to overthrow fascists. We fucking gave a fuckload of weapons and tanks and shit to the Soviets to kill fascists with our weapons because they needed them. The Lend-Lease program, if you're not familiar with that. We fucking went around the world killing fascists for 6 years, let's say, because there were still remnants and shit afterwards. So to see where we're at today is really, really disappointing when a lot of these people's fathers and grandfathers were the ones killing fascists, killing Nazis, and here we have them. So they should be ashamed. It's some of the most un-American shit you could think of. And I think, the pendulum's going to swing and they're going to get what's coming to them in time. So.
Yep. Dave Taylor of Ohio.
Yeah.
And then they decided to come out and afterwards, after it was blown that he's a Nazi, his people started, like other Republicans started coming out and be like, "Oh no, Democrats broke into his office and planted that."
Yeah. No, they didn't.
Like,
no,
bro,
they fucking didn't.
Republicans are Nazis. And actually, I got into a little conversation with people on Twitter because Republicans now are coming out and being like hardcore, like, Democrats were the ones who were for slavery. Lincoln was a Republican. It's like, yes,
God.
that is factual. Actual fact. Yes, the Democrats were the pro-slavery side and Republicans had Lincoln. However, that was the conservative Democrats and the liberal Republicans.
Yeah,
so
fucking party flip.
Yeah, get your facts straight and then come at people and be like, "Oh yeah, Democrats are the ones who are horribly racist." Like, which there are Democrats who are racist who try to get like their token black person the same way that Trump does, and it's scummy. Yeah, it's terrible. Biden. Yeah. Joe Biden was horrible with that. That's why he had Kamala. That's very offensive.
Yeah. No, I mean Biden was racist as fuck. Like didn't he call black people monkeys or some shit and like fucking talk?
Yeah.
Or said a city was a jungle or some shit. Like
yeah, and he said like you people wouldn't have anything if it wasn't for me.
Oh yeah, and then he said about wealthy kids and black kids.
Yep.
Fucking Biden is fucking racist. Like, let's not beat around it. A lot of Democrats are fucking racist. But yeah, these dipshits who worship a past that never existed in every conceivable fucking way don't seem to understand that there was a party flip, just like they don't seem to understand that women had rights for a majority of history, and they don't seem to understand that the wealthy were taxed in their favorite fucking era in the 40s and 50s. Like, there was a wealth tax, a wealth cap tax. Fucking these, they venerate a past that doesn't exist. It's a fantasy, and it's a fascistic, dictatorial, scumfuck, bootlicking fantasy.
Yep, 100%.
And then black people predators, Pinky. Yeah. That's it.
Yep,
They call
absolutely.
fucking super predators or whatever it was.
Yep. So the Ninth Circuit of Appeals, 100% was a Republican judge who let us down. They allowed the National Guard to be deployed to Portland after it was fought for so long to not have it happen. Like for weeks, it was on hold. And then the appeals court came through and was like, no, we're going to allow it. We're going to allow it. Because, those terrible people in the frog suits who are being maced by ICE, they're terrible people. They're dancing. How dare they dance?
Yeah, how dare they express their First Amendment rights with their frog suits and fucking shit like that and wiggle their blown up butts in front of ICE and the National Guard. How dare they? They're such a threat, man.
Yeah. They're terrorists, obviously. I mean, they're part of Antifa. That means they're part of that terrorist organization because Antifa is an organization, not just a state of mind.
Well, see, beneath every single blow-up frog suit is an Antifa super soldier with, like, 3 machine guns under the suit, and they're just waiting for the order from fucking, what's-his-face? The guy that
Soros?
the Soros. Yeah, they're waiting for the order to come down from Soros to light up the National Guard and ICE. That's what's happening, dude. It's gonna happen, I tell you. I'm telling you.
So, in music, you know how, like, all these, what do you call them? Like radio rock bands, like Disturbed and stuff like that. There's like extremely far right. Them, Five Finger Death Punch. Yeah. All these like shit tier bands are super far right. Well, here's one that apparently isn't, and I'm surprised by that. So, Avenged Sevenfold singer defends his message to the Israeli hostages, and came out and said it's not political because he's getting a bunch of hate for this. He's getting shredded online because he came out and said, "So excited to hear you are home. The things you guys have been through are unspeakable, terrible." Talking about the ones who were captured by Israel.
Yeah. And raped. Don't forget that. They were raped.
And people are coming out and bashing him like, oh, that means you're anti-Semite. Because you're bashing Israel, who is not Jews. They're Zionists. They're completely different. And they're descendants of Nazis. So, I mean, let's be real.
Yeah, again, it comes down to a lack of understanding for religion for these people. The Jews don't have a state. The Jews are not supposed to have a state according to their own fucking holy book, you dumb fucks. The Jews are not supposed to have a country. It is by God's decree, you dumb fucks, that the Jews are not supposed to have a country. If you want to talk about religion, because I love religion. I fucking hate and love religion. I've studied multiple religions my entire fucking life. I grew up in a sect of one of them, okay? I know my fucking religions. The Jews are not supposed to have a state. So when we talk shit on Israel, it's not the Jews, it's the fucking Zionist Nazis that we're shitting on.
Yep. God. Yep. But they don't understand that because that would take at least 30 seconds of Google Foo. And Google Foo is the hardest thing to understand.
Yeah, it's hard as fuck. Or just ask a Jew. You know, maybe do that. If you want to fucking simp for him as much as you do, like, go talk to one. Go actually fucking talk to one who practices, not someone who says that, like, oh, I'm Jewish, but they don't practice anything, like fucking 3/4 of Christians do here. Go talk to an actual practicing Jew, and they'll tell you the same shit.
Yep. Nope, that would take that. I mean, they'd have to talk to them, and they're afraid of them because they're the great evil.
Yeah, and that's the other part, too. It's like all these fucking Nazi fucks who hate Jews are going to sit here and try to defend Jews.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you would burn these people if it were any different. Like, this is such a backwards fucking world, dude.
Every time I see this ad, I always sit here and watch it because it's just so weird. It only works properly the first time when it like shows it broken apart when he steps up. And then it goes flat for every other step because it's all AI generated bullshit.
Yeah, it's what I was going to say. It's probably all just AI bullshit.
Yep.
Yeah, and Pinky is saying it's horrible the conditions the Palestinians have come. Yeah, it's fucking god awful. It is awful.
Oh, that reminds me. I got to pull up another story at the end of this. But I'll get to that. About conditions. So shrapnel hits California patrol car that was escorting JD Vance at military event.
It's a shame they missed.
Yeah, well, you know what it was. The military, of course, again, led by Hegseth, who is, you know, a genius among geniuses. They thought it was okay to, like, detonate this bomb prematurely, like this missile. And it just so happened that shrapnel hit J.D. Vance's patrol or whatever you call it, escort.
What the fuck? Yeah, because they were shooting missiles over the freeway.
Yep.
For this, like, fucking Marine Corps birthday and shit. Like, bruh. Yeah. Why do we have to
highway in California?
Yeah, and they had to shut it down.
Yep.
The whole thing. So fucking little dick daddy could shoot his missiles into California on some fucking like power trip because it's probably a message. Like this has to be some kind of message from Trump. Especially with it coinciding with the No Kings protest and shit. Like this is definitely a fucking message from little dick. So it's just ironic and kind of funny that it hit one of JD Vance, or like a shrapnel piece of it hit one of JD Vance's escorts. Wouldn't it have been fucking hilarious if it hit his vehicle and just took him out?
I mean, that was probably Trump's goal. I'm not going to lie.
I wouldn't put it past him, yeah. I wouldn't.
He tried to have his last vice president killed, so...
Yeah, by the Secret Service, no less. Look into that shit. If anybody watching this, if you have not looked into how the Secret Service was going to fucking kill Pence, look that shit up.
Yeah, Secret Service is not to be trusted. They're super pro-Trump. Look at the whole assassination attempt where it looks like it's staged because of all the things that are happening at that moment. The flag dropped at just the right time so the one guy could pull over the guard, like the cameraman, then. And then all these messages get deleted.
Interesting. And then the fucking magic healing wound that healed his ear that broke in half and healed in like 3 days. Wonderful.
Yeah, 2 centimeter hole through his ear. Just gone. With a tampon. Just put a tampon on it. It heals.
My ears heal super fast. Like within a day or two after I get a fucking bullet through them, you know?
Yeah. Cartilage always heals. I mean, that's just a known science fact.
Yeah, it's not like you permanently miss a chunk of your ear if the cartilage is destroyed, you know? It doesn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, Holyfield's regrown his ear like, 12 times since Mike Tyson?
Yeah, man. It's crazy. And maybe it's this super secret medical fucking... Maybe it's the med beds. That's what it is. Maybe Trump actually has fucking med beds.
Next couple I have are from Twitter, from Twatterton. And... oh yeah, how is this not a huge story? The total amount of affected funding because of Trump by congressional district of grant recipient. Democratic districts is 87 for $27.24 billion. Meanwhile, Republican districts have only been penalized or had funds either rejected or frozen a total of $738.7 million.
Interesting how that works.
Yeah. And I think I had more on that. Let me share my other screen.
You want to know what's funny, though?
No.
Is that the Democratic states could actually afford it. If the Republican states were hit that hard, they'd fucking implode.
Yeah.
Because they're falling apart without the Democratic states. That's a fact.
Yeah, so there's that same one again from Richard, whatever his last name is. And here is a map of it showing all the districts that are affected. It's California. It's all the West Coast where he's sending these military, plus New York and stuff where he's, sending in military and stuff.
Yeah, which, by the way, like, when are we going to call it a civil war?
Yeah, I don't know why they're not calling it a civil war. It's been a civil war since, February, or January, whenever that cunt was sworn in?
Yeah. Well, I would argue it's been a civil war since January 6th. What was that, like 20 fucking...
Yeah. Since he did the thing that should have got him, like, life in prison because it was treason against the United States.
Yep. I mean, we've been in a civil war since then. Oh, yeah, and Pinky's pointing out that with the government shutdown... until the end of the month, millions won't be getting food stamps in November. Yeah, people are going to die. People are going to die because of this.
Yep. All to hide the Epstein files. Wow. I mean, man, there's definitely nothing to show in those Epstein files since we're just shutting down the government trying to kill people.
Well, there's two things, man. One is the Epstein angle, which is true. Like, we know that part of the reason they did the shutdown is to try and prevent that person getting voted in so they don't release the Epstein files, or at least a doctored version of the Epstein files that includes less Democrats than Republicans. Because we know we're never going to get the full fucking thing. Way too many people are involved in it. But part of it is that. The other part of it, too, and this is tinfoil territory, okay? But the fucking... Atlas shit, that meteor shit that's coming in the solar system here, that's in the solar system at the moment, this all coincides with that shit too, which is kind of weird, especially considering all the stuff around that meteor or asteroid or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah. The alien ship that's floating around the sun and NASA scared. I read that was a new headline over the weekend. Well,
here's the thing, like, I don't know if you saw, I said in the Discord, like, I waited, because I saw a bunch of people putting shit out on the internet, like straight tinfoil shit, like it's an alien ship, and like crazy
alien invasion!
And this was like months ago, like, Earlhams are coming! Yeah, like, this is months ago, so I'm like, fuck off, like, we'll see. I wanted to wait until official shit came out. And now the official shit is coming out, and I'm not gonna lie, dude, it fucking might be aliens. Like, it straight up might be aliens, which is crazy as fuck for me to say. And I'm not saying it is, but...
Why would you be scared? We have the master of the deal. He'll just negotiate with those aliens, and they'll just bow down to him and be like, oh, King Trump, King Trump.
Yeah, maybe the aliens will appreciate the musk of shit around him.
Or it'll be like in Mars Attacks, and I think it was either the president or the governor who went up to them at the first and got zapped into ashes.
Fucking they just zap everybody. No, like, so here's the thing. If this fucker slows down when it's behind the sun, it's absolutely intelligent. There's some kind of intelligent shit going on if this thing slows down behind the sun. Which it looks like it might be doing. So there's some crazy shit happening at the moment. But yeah, because the government shut down, NASA isn't releasing diddly dick on. But also the Chinese space program, they love putting shit out that they find, because there is a space race happening again. It's slow and it's just starting up, but like India's even involved in shit. But China always puts shit out that they find. They've been quiet as fuck on this thing, and they definitely have pictures of it. So why aren't they putting shit out?
Yeah. Yep.
Something's up.
Oh, and I gotta share the volume for this one. Hold on, let me pull this away. This guy went so far right that he just turned left.
Oh no, don't bring up the horseshoe.
All right.
Summon Carlitos.
So let's listen to this one. Oh, this was a... Never mind, it wasn't a video. I had the video pulled up and I forgot to pull that one up. My bad. But yeah, so that's basically what he comes after, is I have a proposal for you, Democrat Party. Instead of free health care for illegal immigrants, how about free health care for the American people?
We made it. Welcome.
Yeah. Yep. 'Twas fantastic. He has his little Jeep thing on, his cross. Doesn't understand what it stands for.
Look at this fucker. Look how red he is, dude. You know he drinks like fucking 3 6 packs a day. Look at him.
I like how he has this in the background too. He's been doing some hardcore cooking.
Shit, dude. This guy's a severe alcoholic. Got the camo pants, the cross. He beats his wife. You know, the whole nine.
Yep. And the Jeep duck. Can't forget the Jeep duck.
Yeah, he owns a giant fucking Jeep to compensate for his micro dick.
So our main conversation today is going to be about dumbasses and also protests, because protests are a funny thing. So we had the No Kings protest volume 2 this past weekend, and I mean there was an outstanding showing of people, like millions of people across the country all went out to their cities, their capitals, whatever. Like there was one in the city I live in, they all gathered together. Hawk's echoing.
Yeah, I think it's because you shared the audio. It's that fucking audio shit.
Yeah, let me pull that. My bad.
Yeah, we've been dealing with this shit for like 3 days.
Yeah, it's there's been updates with Windows and with StreamYard. It's been kind of terrible.
Awful.
But there's probably gonna be some echoing, so I gotta do some more showing of things. But you'll just talk after they show them. I have 2 videos to show. The first one is from CNN News 18, and then the other one is from MSNBC. So we'll start with CNN. After that, we'll pause it, and you can go ahead and talk again after that.
That works.
So let's get this one. Audio, share, show it, and I won't play the whole thing either. Yeah, so we had the No Kings protest, and Trump spent the weekend deciding to go on to all these AI things, generators, and made a video of him as a king flying a jet, which is something he's highly incapable of doing. And I'm the king, so he can't be the king. And dropping shit on protesters.
Yeah, fucking Pinky says surprised it wasn't piss. See, it's fitting that it's shit because he did so many opiates that he shits his pants all the time. Was it opiates or was it uppers? I forget. Probably both.
Both.
He fucking, like, he's fucked himself, so it's absolutely true that he wears diapers, and I forget where it was, but there's a recording where you could hear him shitting his pants in front of another world leader. Like, you could actually hear it on the recording.
Also, his favorite quote, or your favorite quote by him. Yeah,
he shit his pants there. He actually shit his pants when he said that. That was the sound of Trump shitting his fucking pants. So it's fitting that it's shit. Oh yeah, Adderall. Yeah, he did way too much fucking Adderall and probably Coke and shit too. Because I mean, you gotta keep in mind he was like big coming up in the 80s and shit, so like a big businessman in fucking New York in the 80s, so he was definitely doing fuckloads of blow. But yeah, it's fitting that it was shit, and I just don't, I think that doesn't, like, hit him, he doesn't realize that because he doesn't think of himself as someone who shits his pants all the time. You know what I mean?
Yep. The next one I have is from this lady's she's an author. I believe she's from Mexico. She also does a lot of stuff on Telemundo and stuff like that for their news. Very brilliant lady. I'm going to say her name wrong. Paola Ramos or Paula Ramos, something like that.
Paula?
Yeah, but she's on MSNBC and she gets asked a question and she almost gets it. Just, oh man, she's so close. So close to getting it. But let's listen to what she has to say about American protesters or protests in America. Oh, sorry, I didn't do the freaking share thing. I hate this. I hate having to click it every time. All right. Loading. Now loading.
One of the most important things I think
that is quiet. Yeah.
Folks took from yesterday was they have agency.
Yeah.
And one of the things over the last 8 months that folks have watched Donald Trump stretch the bounds of power, push the idea of rule of law in this country, they have felt powerless. And I think when you talk to, and you do this a lot, talking to regular voters, they look to Washington as the place with all the power. And at the end of the day, it's just people. Bad things happen because just people do it. Really good things happen in this country because just people stand up and say, I'm not taking it anymore. So talk about the importance of, according to the organizer, there's 7 million people around the country, 2,700 events, and people realizing, wait, we have agency to say hell no to whatever we want.
It's because they're finally feeling it, right? That message that we just heard, that was the Democrats' closing message, right? And for some reason, people weren't feeling it. And I think Trump doesn't win because of his politics, right? He doesn't win because he had better policies. He wins because he was able to invoke feelings in his base, 2 feelings. It was fear and anger. And that's what you're seeing in this crowd. Finally, I think Americans understand the fear of authoritarianism, right? That's what we heard. And they understand the threat. And then there's anger, right? It's the anger of what Trump is doing. And I think if you combine both of those things, you rally people. And I think the question is, if you're an organizer, I think there's a third ingredient that is missing, or that may be missing, right? Which is all of...
This is where she misses it. She gets so close to getting it. Like, she has part of it right, but she's missing the key ingredient to how to make a protest actually work.
This movement has to go beyond Trumpism.
Right.
It has to be beyond this anti-Trump campaign. And that's why when you see some of these posters, right? Donald Trump has got to go, yes. But the real question of this movement is, Americans voted for Trump again, right? Trumpism is a symptom of something bigger in this country. So I think the rallying cry behind this movement has to be why this country is capable constantly to going back, to going back to a dark side of history and taking this country where we are. And that's what the American Revolution was about, right? It wasn't just about taking King George out. It was about enslaved people that wanted something more. And it's the same, we're sort of in the same place in history.
And you can't, because for the left and for Democrats, you can't just be the opposition, you have to figure out a way to be the alternative.
Right. Well, that...
Yeah, so she has like a good point there. Like that, what she said is true, but she missed like the key ingredient, which is what we wanted to talk about today, is that key ingredient to actually make a protest work. And Carlitos, he's not with us, he should be, because he gets credit for this. He did call it out a couple weeks ago. The one thing we need to do as a country to make a protest work.
Well, there's a couple things there. Like, what the fuck is this fantasy revision of the revolution? Like, this is something that I see both the left and the right do, and I absolutely fucking hate it because it contributes to the problem. So, she said there that, like, the revolution wasn't just about taking out King George. The revolution wasn't about taking out King George at all. It wasn't about that. It was about fucking rich people, a small group of rich white slave-owning men who wanted to not be taxed 2%. 2%! They didn't
That's
want to be
so
taxed
much.
2%. Yeah, it's so much. It was enough to start a fucking revolution. Okay.
Tax cuts. We need tax cuts.
It was rich white slave owners who didn't want to be taxed by Daddy George overseas. That is literally the only thing the revolution was about. And the geopolitics of basically France coming in and saying, hey, you're going to fuck up England? We'll join you because fuck England. Because, again, I side with the French. Fuck England. But, so, there's this revisionist fucking history going on here with shit. Like, we need to look at it for what it is. The problem today isn't that we need to overthrow Trump and fucking like, oh, let's just keep going. No, the problem today is we need to overthrow Trump and burn the fucking system down because it's not working. Because it's rich men, rich white slave-owning fucking men who are running your lives, and you have no fucking say in it. None.
Yeah, which I was giving her credit and thinking that's where she was going with that. Like, we need to get to the root of why we keep allowing the country to go to this dark side of history. And that's what I was taking from is like, yeah, we need to get the fuck away from all these small rich few that control us, that make things the way they are.
The country never left this dark side. That's the thing. That's the other thing. Like, America didn't just go fucking sour. Like, I feel like I'm losing my fucking mind. I mean, you see these people that they're like, oh, I'm a leftist. I believe in leftist ideals and all this shit. It's like, one, you can't fucking name any policy outside of like, oh, free healthcare. Okay, fuck off. It's two, fucking, you know nothing about our own fucking history. Like, if you're sitting here thinking that this is new or that America was some fucking beacon of hope before Trump came in power, you are fucking asleep, dude. Asleep.
Like with my whole thing, I was saying, I talked to people on Twitter about like the facts of history. There are leftists, claim to be leftists or Democrats on Twitter, who instead of bringing out the fact to these fucking morons who are saying like, oh yeah, it was the liberal Democrats who were the slave owners. And it's like, okay, hold on. They were both slave owners. We had slave owners on both parties. They're both shit. Yeah. But it was the liberal Republicans that had Lincoln. And you have Democrats coming on here saying like, no, that never happened. And it's like, you're just as dumb as the person saying this shit. You guys are both idiots. Like, look at fact first and then open your mouth or go to be a keyboard warrior.
No, that's too fucking hard. That requires reading. Yeah, Panky says this. Like, Trump didn't come out of a fucking vacuum. Like, Trump didn't just appear out of fucking nowhere. And the shit that Trump is doing, the powers that he has, the ability to do the shit that he's doing, didn't fucking come from nowhere. It came from legislation from Democrats and Republicans over the last fucking 80 years. That's where this shit came from.
Let's talk about how Project 2025 is a brand new thing, never thought of before, never had a different name.
Yeah, no, it's not like it was the fucking Republican agenda for our entire goddamn lives. No, it's not. That's not what it was. No. Fucking, like, what the fuck, dude? I feel like I'm losing my mind. I see these people say this shit, and it's like, where are you? Like, oh my God. Oh my God.
No, everything was great under Obama. Everything was completely different. It was completely different.
Go ask fucking, like, what is it, Anwar al-Awlaki, how great fucking life was under Obama, and how his child was fucking bombed by drones without fucking cause, shot a missile through his fucking window and killed his daughter. Ask him how life was under fucking Obama.
Never happened.
Oh my God. Him and the fucking millions of other people, brown people overseas who had missiles fly through their fucking windows. The only reason you thought it's a good time is because you didn't have fucking missiles flying through your windows. And guess what, bucko? That's fucking coming. If we don't stand up and fucking do something, you're gonna get missiles through your fucking window.
Yep, because we're all on a list thanks to that fucking memorandum from, what, 2-3 weeks ago?
Yeah, the other thing that people are calling a fucking executive order. It's not an executive order. It's not a fucking executive order. Oh my God.
That would take reading the title, and again, reading is hard.
Yeah, it was hard. Yeah, they were American fucking citizens that were killed without trial, without jury, out of jurisdiction, fucking slaughtered. For what? The sins of their father?
Yep.
God. And people act like fucking Trump throwing brown people in prisons without any fucking cause is some new shit. We've been doing this shit for 200 fucking years, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's like most people also give Democrats too much credit on immigration because they are not great with it either, like at all. fucking at all. They've always been harder. They've always had higher fucking numbers until this administration.
Yeah, the only thing is, and like we're fuck, we're gonna keep. I can't, dude. I'm so fucking pissed. We're gonna keep this about the fucking the protest and shit, and like the history of protests in the United States and protest in general. So you have this No Kings protest, and what is it gonna accomplish? What is gonna come out of this? What do you think is gonna fucking come out of this?
Just adding more people to that list from the memorandum.
Yep, you're gonna get more hits. That's it. You're gonna get more fucking people who are gonna have smoke grenades and fucking flashbangs shot through their window and black bagged in the middle of the night because they attended a fucking protest. And some people are like, oh, this is like people just realizing that they're not alone in this. Well, they should realize they're not alone in this. And like that lady said on the fucking MSNBC or whatever, America voted for Trump. No, America didn't vote for Trump. A fucking sliver of America voted for Trump. Let's get this shit straight. A fucking very small minority of people voted Trump in office because the majority of Americans are so fucking disenfranchised with their own government that they don't even participate in voting anymore. Fuck the Democrats. There's no point voting for them. There's no point protesting. There's no point fucking doing any of this shit because what is it gonna do? Back in the day, when we had big-ass protests, like I'm talking early 1900s, 1800s, fucking late 1700s, when we had mass protests, which we could talk about later if we have the time or want to, I brought shit up. Fucking, when we had mass protests back in the day, they could at times accomplish things. They did at times accomplish things, and that's because back then, the government still had to wear the mask of appealing to the people instead of corporations. Because they didn't have social media, they didn't have the fucking means of control that we have today, they didn't have the means of monetary control or like even a central fucking banking system at some points, because that's a relatively new thing. Fucking, they didn't have these same, it wasn't set up the same way as it is today, so the government had to listen to people to a degree. Now, that doesn't mean that they listened to them a lot. It doesn't mean that they changed everything that they should have done, but they at least moved a little bit after people came out in the millions for protests. Or at least hundreds of thousands. But today, it does nothing, and will continue to do nothing. It's masturbatory at best. And I'm fucking tired of people advocating for this kind of shit because we need more.
Yeah, like there's no king protest. Like, if you want to go out there and just waste a day, like what makes me mad about it, and I was talking to my wife about this one. What day of the week did we have this No Kings protest?
Fuck, I don't even know. Was it Saturday or something?
Yep, a Saturday. Do normal 9 to 5 businesses work on a Saturday?
Nope.
Oh, so you mean we just went out there and spent a day holding signs and chanting shit, singing along, and doing fuck all?
Yep.
That won't change anything?
Yep. Didn't hurt
anybody.
Didn't
have this thing, the one thing that this country needs to fucking do, like only one of the things this country needs to do, because I mean the other thing, if we say we're black bagged, is a general strike. A general fucking, yes, disrupt fucking everything. Disrupt capitalism. And you know what happens? Change. Because they're like, oh fuck, we're fucked. I mean, so our economy right now is wrapped up in one fucking thing. AI.
Yep.
Like our whole economy is on AI. So if AI just went under right now,
we're fucked. The
economy is collapsed. Like that would be the recession that we've been calling for, but Trump and his advisors, or sorry, I shouldn't say Trump and his advisors. Trump's advisors were smart enough to make him push AI. So at least it's something that looks like it's going to continue growing, even though it takes billions and billions and billions and trillions of dollars and just destroys the environment and all this other terrible shit, wastes resources. But it's the one thing that's keeping our economy afloat right now, is the fact that we're backing AI and all these fucking billionaires that don't need the fucking money.
Yep. And if that pops, it wouldn't be a recession. That would be an economic implosion. Yeah. That would be worse than a depression. That would be a worldwide economic implosion.
A full-on fucking collapse.
It is the collapse of the modern economic system if this shit goes. So, because everybody relies on us. As much as you love it or hate it, everybody relies on the US dollar at this point. China's coming up, they may take it over, but right now, everybody relies on the US dollar. So if we go down, everybody fucking goes down. That's just how it goes. That's part of a global economy, okay? So, fucking when the fascist runs its tendrils as deep as it has within our government, the fascist and the corporate, okay, not to say that they're entirely different all the time, but when they run their tendrils as deep as they have within a government, there are two ways to stop it. Exclusively two ways. Now, you could go about these two ways in a multitude of approaches, vectors, if you will, okay? But ultimately, it comes down to two things that you need to do. One of two things that you need to do. One is violence. Openly. It's violence. How you do that violence is up to your discretion. That is one of the options. I would prefer to not take that route because it fucking sucks for everybody, okay? It sucks for everybody.
We're not telling people to go do that. We're going to make that clear.
No.
We're not telling people to do violence. We're just saying when it comes to a certain extent in history, that's what it calls for.
Yes, there are two ways that this shit has been dealt with historically that are proven to work. One is violence, and we're not advocating for that, but that is one option. The other is economics. To hit these people where it fucking hurts most, because the only thing they fucking care about is money. Period.
Yep.
Period.
And if we wait to do the general strike for this country until after the AI overlords have gotten what they need to like perfected, we're fucked. We're going to lose our one bargaining chip that we have, one of the two. So then we're going to be left with only the other route. So we should do this now while AI is still a piece of shit. Even though if you go on Twitter, Grok is the smartest AI ever. Eat a dick. Grok is a piece of shit. Fucking Mecha Hitler is not the smartest AI ever. That's just a bullshit lie. And I think someone should sue them for fucking false advertisement. Because that's a load of crap.
This is where
it has no intelligence. You can't call it artificial intelligence when it has no intelligence.
Yeah, it's like a virtual assistant at best. But yeah, it's like we don't want the violent route. So the only thing that we can do at this point to actually change shit is a general strike.
So have those protests, the No Kings Protest Volume 3, have it go on from Monday to fucking Wednesday or Thursday. And you know what happens after that? After that, millions and millions of people go out there and fucking protest for 3 to 4 days. It's done. We will get our fucking way. We will get something to go our way. Either that or he'll start shooting us, and then it leads to volume fucking 4 of us doing the violent route. Like that's what it comes down to.
The violent option is thrust upon us at that point. So like there is no option at that point. So fucking like and the No Kings protest would have to be I don't know, like fucking 30 times bigger in order for this to work too. Like America has over 330 million people. A pretty large chunk of that are working people, okay? You could say it looks like, based on all the indicators, roughly 40%, give or take, of the people who can work aren't, because our economy is already in fucking shambles. So all we need is, let's say like 40%, 50% of the people that are currently working, able-bodied and working at this point, to not work for like 2 or 3 days. That's it. That's it. Yep. That's all it would take. And you would have people come to the table real fucking quick. You don't work, you don't buy anything, you don't do anything, you fucking sit in your house, you sit on your hands, you watch TV if you want, you don't order any fucking pay-per-view. If you read a fucking book, read a book for 3 days, finish a book. That's all you need to do. And this shit will change.
Yep.
One way or another, it'll change. They'll either come to the table, or they'll fucking start shooting at us, and then we could go from there. But one way or another, it'll change at that point.
Yep. And knowing Trump, their goal would be start shooting them. That's what he would pitch instantly. You're affecting my money. All the money in the world is mine. You're affecting my money. And he would start saying, shoot him, kill him, mow him the fuck down. And that would be it. That would be like the Civil War Part 2.
Yeah. And I mean, like, if anyone says that this is impossible with a general strike, there are a multitude of cases throughout history where it's worked. Now, granted, these have been in much smaller countries. Much, much, much smaller countries. But the one that, maybe that, Hey Revolution book or whatever. Oh, it's, the People's History of the United States, but you could also read Death in the Haymarket, which is we might get into the Haymarket incident, or the Haymarket affair as they call it. So Death in the Haymarket or A People's History of the United States. Read those books, or just read a book on anarcho-syndicalism. It'll make you woke. But woke. There is one time that I thought of off the top of my head, because I am of Czech descent. Okay. My last name is a Czech word, for Christ's sake. Like it's I look Czech.
It is the Czech word, for Christ's sake.
It is for the Czech word for Jesus Christ, actually. No, but no, like the first thing that comes to my mind was the Velvet Revolution, which was after the fall of the Soviet Union, or basically during the fall of the Soviet Union. Almost the entirety of the populace of Czechoslovakia at that point, because it was before it was the Czech Republic and Slovakia, two different countries that we have today. Almost the entirety of the working populace of the Czechoslovakian country came out and protested and did a general strike. They were flooding the streets. Fucking nobody went to work. Nobody did anything. And real quick, I think it was within like a couple of hours, the Soviet government just left. They just fucked off out of Czechoslovakia. So that's an instance of where people coming together in the highest of mass to fucking stop production, to stop consuming, to stop the money in its tracks can work. It can work.
Yep. But yeah, that general strike, if we do it, needs to happen now.
Yeah,
now.
It has to happen now.
We are severely run out of time, and nobody who's hosting these events or planning these events pushes that for logical reasons. They're probably getting paid by, the corporate cogs as well.
Well, yeah.
But we can't have that. We got to move on. We got to do something that actually makes a fucking difference. What we're doing is the equivalent of boycotting Nike by going out, buying some fucking Nikes, and then lighting them on fire afterwards.
Yes. No, steal the Nikes and then light them on fire. That's a protest. Yeah. But go hijack a Nike truck or something. Don't do that. I'm not advocating for that. No, but Kat asks, is that an option even being discussed? No. Basically, like, the majority of these protests and shit are led by, like, dumb fuck Redditors who think that they understand political systems. They think they're actually changing something. They're like, oh man, we're gonna have 1,000 people go march on the street. That's gonna fucking change the world. So, no, this isn't actually being discussed.
A lot of them are fucking tankies, too.
Yep. Oh, God,
so when they call the organizers of these events communists, they're not wrong.
Yeah. They're actually not. Yeah, they're actually kind of. They're like dumb fuck. They're like the lowest end of communist. Like the communist foot soldier who just like, oh, I'm a communist, and that's like all they understand.
Internet communists. They saw the what's his name guy, whatever. They saw his picture. They're like, yep, we're that.
Yeah, they're communist chic. That's what they are. It's fucking. It's literally just like cosplaying communist revolutionary. No, but it's not being discussed because this is part of the problem that where we differ today in a lot of ways than we have historically in terms of like historical parallels to shit that's happening and shit people have done to try and fix it historically. One of the ways that we differ today is the methods of control. And one of the greatest methods of control ever created in the history of mankind, next to religion, I would argue even better than religion, is social media. Social media is by fucking far the best method of control after religion for any populace in the entire world. And what it's doing is it's leading people to a point with controlled opposition. So you have these people who become tankies. You have these people who follow the Democratic Party line. You have these people who go and socialized healthcare would be pretty cool. Socialized schooling, education would be pretty cool. And that's where the algorithm stops them. Because if they get any further than that, they actually get wise to shit. If they read Death in the Haymarket, if they read about anarcho-syndicalism, if they read about if they read the People's History of the United States, if they go and actually check these things out and see the realities of the past, the people who fought for rights, the people who died for rights, and how the governments responded to it historically, they would understand what they have to do, but they can't because they're trapped by the fucking algorithm.
Yeah. And really quick, for Cat Rex, it is being called for, so far only by one person who has some sort of say at all in this country. And that's Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson, who on Saturday in his speech did call for a general strike.
Yeah,
like openly called for a general strike. But yeah, it's just the mayor. You didn't have the governor of Illinois, J.B. Pritzker. He didn't call for it. He should have. You don't have Gavin Newsom, who's a piece of shit, but still a prominent voice on the Democratic side, call for it because he gets paid by them. Yep. The two that should do it aren't fucking doing it because it would hurt their own pockets.
Yep. And
but the mayor doesn't give a fuck because he's the mayor.
Oh, yeah. All these people who could rally people for a general strike are already in the pockets of the corporations. They're already bought. Like, even AOC and Bernie, like, these people are already fucking bought and paid for. It's done.
That's why AOC hasn't called for it, because AOC should.
Well,
Bernie should.
Yeah, and that's it. Like, these democratic socialists who are more Democrat than socialist, they aren't actually socialist. If you look at definitions, there's nothing socialist about democratic socialist. They just believe in, like, the slight implementation of social policies. That's it, under a democratic system. But, fucking, these people, like, this is where it's so nefarious, and it's, I promise you, I know it sounds like tinfoil hat shit. I know it sounds fucking crazy, but it's true by nature of what you're seeing, that these things were already won before they started, and that's by design. This is not allowed to happen. A general strike cannot happen and will not happen if things keep going as they are, because the system by its nature refuses to allow it, because it was created to refuse to allow it. These people got wise after the last fucking 50 goddamn revolutions that we've had in this country. I mentioned it before, the Haymarket Affair. That was the death of socialism in the United States. That was the death of socialism in the United States. Socialism had an egg that was planted in the US that could have grown into something pretty fucking cool, with, like, a spin on Marx's ideas and a fucking spin on socialism in general, and it was destroyed violently with a bombing and the murder of people by police in the Haymarket Affair. And I guarantee you 99% of Americans have never heard of it and never will, because they'd realize more shit if they did.
Yeah, and our media doesn't help. Like, I went onto Google News and typed in general strike, and let me get to the first time a big station like CNN, NBC, Fox News, any of those like big networks talked about it. Let me scroll through. Let me keep scrolling. Hold on, I'm still scrolling. Still scrolling. They don't. Fucking none of them will. Even though we have general strikes that have happened recently in other countries. Italy just had one like a month ago, or sometime last month. Which was all for support of Gaza. There was a general strike that happened in a protest that happened in Greece, and it's not fucking talked about. The French are calling for like a third one in the past, 2 years, and fucking nothing.
Yep.
You don't get anything from the big stuff. I mean, the French one, the only article I see on it is from France 24.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
We're not going to cover it here because it would give us the idea, and we can't have that.
Yeah, they'll never touch it. They'll never touch it with a 10-foot fucking pole, because that's a good idea. Any good idea, you're never going to see organically. Well, that's the thing. There is no organic thing that's given to the United States population. It's all tailored. It's all fucking tailored. Every single thing that anyone in this population gets, unless you break out of the, I quit social media and shit like that, and I started reading shit, and that's how I figured shit out. I didn't learn this shit from the internet. Sparrow, I mean, I learned where to look from the internet, sure, but Sparrow says, why trust Google at this point to show facts? Yeah, because Google is the fucking government! Yep. Google is the government, okay? Fuck, I feel like Alex Jones, man. But it's crazy, but it's fucking true. They're making the frogs gay! It's fucking true, though. Like, these... How do I put this? We have to break out of the algorithmic cage that everyone is in order to wisen people up. Now, I know Pinky has talked about creating, like, radio communication networks that are off the grid and shit like that. Like, fucking, that's a really good idea. I know other people are doing it. I would do it if I had the fucking money to get into it at this point. But we need to start by creating a network of communication that cannot be controlled. Inherently cannot be controlled. And that's where this movement has to begin. That's the only place this can begin. To start teaching people, educating people, because they don't know. The other thing you have to keep in mind, too, is that the idea of unions, the practice of unionization has been demonized for 40 fucking years in this country. By everybody. I grew up with a lot of Republicans. I grew up around a lot of fucking Republicans, and the state that we're in is as purple as it fucking gets. But I grew up around a lot of Republicans, and every single fucking one of them told me my entire life that unions are literally the devil. Okay? Literally the devil. And then on top of that, when you get hired at a company here, I don't know about fucking anywhere else, but when you get hired at a company here, they sit you down in a room and force you illegally, it's actually illegal, to watch videos that basically say that unions are like the Antichrist, and if you participate in them, you're an evil, immoral person, which is also illegal for them to do. But it doesn't matter because they're companies. This is the shit that people have pumped into them every fucking day. So we have to start fighting against that outside of the system that's created that.
Oh yeah, fuck, I mean, going back on that, bring up the fact that you want to start a union in your company and see how fast you get fired.
Oh, you are done. If you even fucking mention unions in a private chat in a company, you are fucked afterwards.
Yep, you're gone. You are done instantly. They'll make up any reason. Like, oh, you've made a terrorist threat.
Yep.
Which is how they would view it. That you're a terrorist because you're trying to infringe on their money. On their evil doing.
This is a good time to remind people that HR is not your friend. Do not tell anything to HR. They are for the company exclusively.
Their name lets you know they're not for the people. Human resource. Humans aren't a fucking resource.
Yeah. Anyone who's looking up on Google IRL in front of me, yeah. They have Google has an agenda. Yeah, and Google has all the data on people. There's a reason Google has openly worked with the government before. Mm-hmm. Like, intimately. Many, many times. And that's the shit that we know about.
Well, they haven't reported me for looking up those pictures of kitty porn yet, so my naked cat pictures, I'm still good.
The naked cat pictures, yeah. Oh, man. But yeah, no, Cat, yeah, this is literally how it is in the United States. Like, that is not an exaggeration. That is how shit goes. And especially because there are so few small companies in the U.S. now, especially after COVID. Especially after COVID. Because COVID was one of the biggest heists in world history happened during COVID. And I suggest you just look that up with the fucking, what they call it. There's a bill where you could get a reimbursement from the government for fucking lack of money from employees during COVID. There's a name for that bill.
The one that all the fucking
everybody
rich people use and abuse the fuck out of it, and only like 5 of them got like penalized for it, even though like
everybody
all of them fucking were terrible for it. Like one of them was the original Red Ranger.
Yeah,
he got hit with it.
Well, dude, fucking Matt Walsh did it. He got like fucking $4 million from taxpayer dollars because of fucking like cuts from employees that didn't actually happen under COVID. Basically, what was happening behind the scenes when COVID was going on was the government was just sucking money out of the U.S. population. Fucking siphoning money out of the U.S. population at a fucking scale unprecedented, okay? Yep. But since COVID, that killed a bunch of small businesses. So the other problem is that the only people who are really going to hire you in the United States at this point are like gigacorps. Gigacorps. Like, that's it. Especially in these places where there's like nothing but Walmart and fucking, you know, Kroger or Kroger subsidiaries. Or fucking like Giant and shit like that. Like, these are the only places that are there. Like, there's nothing else there in a lot of these places. It's just, I don't know. Mm-hmm. Like, this is a prison. I said it before on the Discord. And I know, like, if you don't live here, even if you live here, you can't see it. Most people can't see it. This is the perfectly designed prison.
Yeah. Now, before we get into the history, because I still want you to pull up those history things, I want to quickly change up the topic for a second, which still stays on topic. But boom, this is new to this thing, but we watched a movie.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and it is the perfect time to bring it up because it's all about this. It's 100% all about this.
Yes.
We watched one battle after another. And I'm sorry, I cut you off when you were trying to pull up someone's comment. I don't know what you're pulling
Oh
up.
no, I was trying to put the comment away. That's
Oh.
That's all.
But yeah, we watched one battle after another, and this is a 3-hour movie. We did not know that going into this. It's
No.
2 hours and 50 minutes, but it is 100% worth the watch. If you're like me, where you have like personal issues with ICE and racism, it might be a hard watch because I was sitting for half of it. I was pissed.
Oh, yeah.
I was fucking heated.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed the movie. Like overall, it's a really good movie. 100% watch this. But yeah, tell us about it.
So, hold on. There will be blood. So the director of this movie was the same guy who directed my favorite movie ever made. It was Paul Thomas Anderson, and he directed There Will Be Blood, which I will always fucking sim for that movie. 1, because Daniel Day-Lewis. 2, it's just my absolute favorite fucking movie. This is unlike any other movie he's ever done, in my opinion. So if you like him for his style and shit, and you go into this movie expecting like more of that, you're not really gonna get it. Yeah, Sparrow can confirm. Yeah, I never shut up about There Will Be Blood or Daniel Day-Lewis. I am gay for Daniel Day-Lewis. But fucking this movie is interesting to me, and I enjoyed it, but I would not recommend it for everybody because it tries to do too many things, in my opinion. It tries to be too many things. It is a story about a revolutionary. It's a story about family drama. And it's a story about, like, a secret sect that rules the government. All in one. And about, like, also kind of about a burnout dad who, like, tries to, like, he's trying to save his daughter, effectively. So it's like a family story mixed in with this revolutionary rhetoric. I don't know. I think it was good, but it's just... I don't know, man. You liked it a lot?
I liked it a lot. It was long. And there's if I made it, like, I'm not going to knock whatever Anderson's style, but there are scenes I would have kind of, like, trimmed up. That's just me personally. But no, like, the overall story and everything was fantastic. Like, the point he was trying to get across, he got across.
Yeah, well, and I mean, the point is ultimately, like, this is kind of what resistance and authority looks like. Yeah. Like, this is the face of authority and the face of resistance. Where, and it's kind of like, he kind of painted it in a way where it's like, neither of them are really good people. Like the resistors, the resistance, they aren't really good people. I mean, they're fucking killing people and blowing shit up. You know what I mean? Like, they're not, they're not, like, arguably they're not morally good people. But also the fucking, the oppressors are definitely not fucking morally good people. And they show that through different ways. And I think it's harder to see the oppressor side of things with the ICE analog that they had and detention centers that they show and shit. But yeah, no, I think it's good. It just needs, like, about an hour and a half cut off of it, effectively.
Yeah. Yeah, they also show you basically not to fully trust the person who's leading the revolution, because they might not be as good as you think they are.
Yeah, they could turn out to be a fucking rat.
Yep.
I mean, it's like, it shows you that all of these people who do all of these things, from the authoritarian fascist to the revolutionary throwing firebombs through windows, all of them are flawed. But who's less flawed, you know?
Yeah.
And it's not the fascists, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Yeah, it also shows you, like, the secret government groups and all that do their evil bullshit behind the scenes. They even make fun of them in very funny ways.
Yeah. No, the name of the organization is pretty fucking funny too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an interesting movie. It almost feels like a dream. It's kind of weird.
Why does it say Vigo was in this?
Was he?
Was he?
Who the fuck was he?
Yeah, that's my question. Who the hell was he in the movie?
I don't know, dude. Amazing acting from everybody involved, too. Amazing
Yeah.
acting.
Yeah, and let me go back to cast. Jungle Pussy plays herself.
Yeah. Literally, she comes in like, I'm Jungle Pussy.
Yep. Yeah, I just wanted to share that because it ties into exactly what we're talking about for this episode.
Yeah.
It has a lot to do with it.
I suggest everybody watch it, but
Yeah.
go into it understanding that you are going to walk out thinking it's too long, and you might not like it, but it's worth watching.
Yeah. And I'm looking for Vigo if you want to start pulling some stuff up about protests in history that have worked that obviously weren't on a Saturday and did absolutely fuck all, but we got to have some funny signs, which we all laughed at, even though we did have other countries who joined us in this one. There were images of protests going on in Australia that were the No Kings protests, protesting Trump. I mean, it was nice to see other countries are like, hey, we can't do shit for you, but, you know, spiritually, we have your back.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, I've got, oh, Jesus, that's huge. Why am I at 150? Okay. Let me share this here. The first one that I want to share screen, window.
And no, Vigo was not in this. He's not on IMDb.
Okay. This is the first one I want to talk about. If we're talking about protests that did accomplish something, the first one is the March on Washington, which is probably the most known. In 1963, August 28th, was where Martin Luther King delivered his I Have a Dream speech. Martin Luther King Jr., I should say, not Martin Luther King, the founder of the fucking Protestant church. But he did his I Have a Dream speech, and there were about 300,000 people that participated in this, and it was arguably the catalyst to pass the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965. So there is an argument to say that those things, the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act, may have passed without this protest, but this protest definitely sped that shit up, at least in my opinion. Oh, here, I wanted to add that. There we go. You couldn't see that. There we go.
Oh, really quick, let me cut in. Viggo Mortensen was originally cast to be in the movie when it was under a different name, but then they went on with Leo and Sean Penn, and it changed the cast.
Sean Penn was wild, dude.
Yeah,
he really played a really good bad guy. Yeah, no, but that's it. With the March on Washington, it accomplished, you could argue it accomplished the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act, which, you know, are pretty fucking important things. Another protest that did accomplish something. Let me pull this up here. Oh no, I don't want that. God damn it. Open the window. If this will fucking... It's not gonna let me... Hold on. Okay, I don't have a picture for this one. It's the moratorium to end the war in Vietnam. So this one is in 1969, I believe. It was both in the United States and Australia, surprisingly. Just like we mentioned, I think we mentioned with the No Kings protest, how some people internationally joined in for the No Kings protest. But the moratorium to end the war in Vietnam was a protest, as it states, to end the war in Vietnam. And it resulted in Nixon's silent majority speech, which kind of fucked Nixon. But it steamrolled into the movement that did wind up putting pressure on the government to end Vietnam. So it in itself did not lead to direct action, but it was the catalyst that caused more people to be like, oh shit, yeah, this war is kind of fucked up, let's say something about it. And that snowballed into the end of the Vietnam War. So again, not a direct result, but without it, the Vietnam War probably would have lasted a little bit longer. And finally, I don't know if it really accomplished anything. Let me see. Because have you heard about the Million Woman March in 2017?
Yes.
Because that was not local, but I mean, it's in our state. So, let me go here. Hold on. Unfortunately, it was probably not 1 million women. The estimates are around like 500,000, which is still fucking crazy. It's a lot of people.
We're just counting like Trump does for his audiences.
Yeah. just take a little liberty with the amount of people that were in this protest. But it was mainly, I believe, African American women who marched up Benjamin Franklin Parkway, and it was it's apparently considered one of the largest demonstrations in American history. And they demanded to end homelessness and support for currently and formerly incarcerated black women, improvements to education, healthcare, poverty, services fighting addiction, like health services to get off of drugs and shit like that, which we still need. We need them now more than ever. And they demanded an independent investigation into the allegations of CIA drug trafficking, which is a whole fucking rabbit hole. If you don't know about how the CIA trafficked drugs from here to all the countries south of Texas, that's something worth looking at, because the CIA definitely fucking brought drugs to and fro South America, okay? Brought drugs here, brought drugs there. They brought guns down there, too, and Mexico and shit, too. That was all the CIA's doing. That's open, declassified. But I guess you could argue that march kind of may have led to some of the declassification of specifically the CIA's activity in, Central and South America. So I would count that as a win.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also have a lot of protests that didn't work. Because there are, now they're, what is it? And now they're threatening Colombia too. Oh yeah. It's again, it sounds like tinfoil shit, but the CIA is fucking everywhere, dude. Like everywhere.
Yeah, they've been everywhere. They've been fucking things up for forever. Since their creation.
Dude. Well, you could trace the CIA all the way back to the Culper spy ring in the 1700s in the Revolution. Which, again, if you don't know about the Culper spy ring, I suggest looking that up. It's crazy shit. They literally had invisible ink, okay? Fucking awesome shit back then. But, yeah, the CIA is everywhere. I mean, they're the ones who basically led to the overthrowing of Muammar Gaddafi. They totally destabilized the entirety of the Middle East for like fucking 40 years. They've destabilized a bunch of South American countries. They've destabilized Asian countries. We've had operations all over the fucking world. We've even had like special forces and CIA operations in Europe and shit in like the 80s and 90s. So yeah, and that's all declassified. That's not like tinfoil shit. But here are some examples of protests that did not go too well. Let me pull this one and see if I can share this. Okay.
Well, here really quick. So I saw this. U.S. mission is to continue destabilizing all Latin America and Latin America. Bleh, I can't talk. They want the minerals too.
Yep.
They also just made a big deal with Australia for rare earth minerals, basically right before Trump's supposed to meet with or have his conversation with China.
China.
So we just made the deal that we needed to not really need China's minerals, and we're gonna see how that goes.
Yeah, it's not gonna go well. I can guarantee you that.
Trump's the master of the deal, so we're gonna see. He's gonna pull one through and be like, "Yeah, China, I'm gonna drop shit from my jet on you too," and then we're gonna have war.
Yeah, God, I fucking hope so at this point. So here's a fun one. I don't know how many people know about this, and what's kind of cool is we talked about Daniel Day-Lewis. This is something that is portrayed in the movie Gangs of New York. Yep. This was the New York City draft riots of 1863. So this was in the midst of the Civil War. And what happened was the northern government needed more bodies to throw into the meat grinder. I mean, needed. They had a lot of volunteers at first, but they lost a lot of fucking people. So, especially in the beginning of the war. So the Union decided to enforce conscription and force people to join the military. Basically, you join the military or you go to prison or die. Those are your choices. There was a lot of racism involved in this, and because it gets really complicated. The Civil War was ultimately about slavery, yes, and the economic slavery, but that does not mean that the majority in the North were not absolute racist scumfucks. Yeah. Most people, from the Union Army all the way down to your average citizen in the North, were still racist pieces of shit. And there was still like hard segregation and fucking all kinds of shit all over. There's still even slave ownership in the North until the Emancipation Proclamation, which is towards the end of the fucking war. So, like, this is a huge problem. But it was a mix of riot over the forced conscription and kind of a race riot that happened because also, again, demonstrated in the movie Gangs of New York, there was a lot of racial tension. It's a fucking amazing movie. Also, like 4 hours long, but amazing movie. There was a lot of racial tension between natural-born Americans and immigrants, and the immigrants included black people, but also Irish, Native Americans, and by Native, I don't mean like Native Americans, I mean like native-born white Americans at this time, people who are of European descent, born in the United States, fucking hated Irish people. Hated fucking Irish people. They were treated, like, arguably worse than a lot of minorities are today. Like, the Irish people were fucking shit on at this time.
Yeah, basically the way that the Trump administration and ICE treats people from Mexico. Yeah. That's the closest we're going to see right now to how Irish are treated.
Like, it was so bad that, like, there were a lot of Irishmen, especially in New York, who became police officers because that was the only way they could actually, like, not get fucking harassed by people. But also that led to more tension because a lot of Irish police officers would side with Irish people if there was a crime that happened or if there was a fight that happened between like Americans and Irish immigrants and shit. Like it was crazy. The geopolitics of the time and even the internal American politics of this time were fucking wild. It's unrecognizable compared to today. But this riot broke out because of all this shit. It all kind of came to a head and the draft kind of pushed it over and New York erupted into a fucking battle. Like, it was a straight-up battle happening in New York. And it ended with, I'm pretty sure, let me confirm this. I believe it ended with a U.S. Navy ship fucking bombing the hell out of New York City. Yep. And that's finally what stopped the people from fucking, like, they burned down city blocks and shit. It was crazy. Hold on, let me confirm that here. Resulted in, the riots were ultimately suppressed, yes. Ship. Bombard. I'm pretty sure they bombarded. Hold on. Navy. Brooklyn Naval Yard. Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, the military got involved. The Navy was involved. They had to basically use regiments from the military to crush this effectively rebellion. It was a small rebellion that kicked up in New York City. So that's one that didn't succeed. Another one that didn't succeed. Let me look. I have a lot here. I don't have a picture for this one, so we're gonna have to unfortunately stop sharing that. But we have the election massacre of 1874. So this happened in Alabama. It was November 3rd, 1874. Republican voters were targeted by Democrats. And at this time, remember, this was before the party flip, so it was effectively like today, Democrats being targeted by Republicans. It was an assault after voting, effectively. There were black voters who had the right to vote at this point, and a lot of white racists didn't like that, so they jumped them, and at least 7 black people died, one of which was the son of a Republican judge. And there were at least 70 people injured. The people who were attacking these black voters were the White League, which, if you haven't heard of them, I think I do have a picture for these fucking scumfucks.
They have these white pointy hoods?
Yeah, you might have heard of these fucking piece of shit wastes of existence. Yeah, here's the emblem for the White League. You'll notice that guy on the right, my right, maybe your left, I don't know how this shit comes out, is kind of wearing a hood and has something written on his chest. So these were the guys that attacked the black voters because they couldn't stand black people having rights, and they killed 7 of them and fucking injured a shitload, and that was another protest, effectively, that ended very badly. The protest being the black people protesting the white racist by exercising their right to vote. Kind of like how people protest by exercising their First Amendment and then get squashed under the boot.
Yep.
So, yeah, there's some protests that didn't go too well.
Yeah. And I just remembered while you were talking, when we were talking about the Irish, I forgot. There was a news story I said I was going to bring up at the end, and I totally missed it. So I'm just going to quickly shove that in here. Come on, show up. So there were ICE raids back in September on Hyundai's the Hyundai plant in Georgia. So this is part of like Trump wanting all these like car manufacturers to bring their business here. Hyundai was one of the first ones to jump on that and be like, yeah, we don't care, we'll do it. So they came over and they opened up their huge plant in Georgia, and ICE had a huge raid on the plant. And all we heard at the time was like, yeah, you know, they raided the Georgia plant and detained 475 workers on allegations of illegal employment. These were authorized people to be here. All of them. And one of the higher up, who was an engineer for Hyundai, was released recently. And he decided to speak out when he got back to Korea about the situation and how he was treated. ICE had these fuckers drinking water off the ground. They poured water on the ground and basically they had to lap it up like dogs. That's how ICE treats people, because they're not white. They're not white, and they don't wear the white hood with the KKK on it. So there is no doubt at all, that the fundamentals of ICE, at least as it stands, well, probably as it's always been, but as it stands currently, is no different than the KKK. But yet you have a bunch of people who are like, there's a number of black people who work for ICE. There's Hispanic people who work for ICE. And it's just like, how could you go through with this? You are working for the KKK. Like, they are the Klan. There is no doubt about that.
Yeah. Yeah, the new
What
age
is going
Klan.
on here? Yeah.
Fucking chaos, dude.
It's fucking insane. Fucking insane.
Yeah, it's gotta end at some point, man. But we do have something interesting to close this out, if you still want to do that. I have...
Yes. Hold on. I still have the banner somewhere. Still have the banner.
Because we don't want to leave you on depressing news.
Hawk's Fact of the Week, which I should change it to Hawk's Fun Fact.
Yeah, so this is... I recently learned about this, and I'm still digging into it, so I'm not exclusively, like, well-versed. But it blew my fucking mind. And at first I wondered why I never heard about this, but then it clicked, and it's still relevant to the show, because it's racism. That's why I never heard about this before. But there's
never heard of racism.
I never heard of racism before. No. But there is something that I guarantee you've never fucking heard of, called the Old Copper Culture. Okay, let me share this here. So this is a really bad map, but it's the best thing that I could find with this. So this is a map of artifacts that have been found around the Great Lakes region in the United States that were copper complex artifacts. So they were copper artifacts, tools, arrowheads, spearheads, swords even, cutting implements, fucking all kinds of shit. All kinds of stuff, tools made out of copper were found in this entire region here. Okay? And now that sounds a little like, okay, who cares? So Native Americans had copper at some point. What makes this very interesting, makes this, like, literally rewrites history as we know it, is that the oldest of these artifacts dates back to 10,000 fucking years ago. Okay? 10,000 years ago. There was a large group of people in this region, in the United States, Native Americans, who were probably made up of multiple cultures that were working copper into tools and weapons and other implements before the fucking Bronze Age, okay? Like 2,000 years before the Bronze Age. So these people were the first humans that we know of to work metal, period. They were the first people on the earth that we have evidence of who took metal out of the ground and worked it into usable tools. There's multiple mines, specifically around that little red circle. I forget which lake that is exactly. But there's that outcropping there. There are fuckloads of copper mines that date back 10,000 years in that little section there. Now, let me pull up Here we go. Now let's look at this. Here are some of the copper tools that have been found in the region. And there have been tens of thousands of these things found throughout that entire region. It's basically an open secret. Everybody who lives in these areas knows that these people existed. But the reason you've never heard about them is because the implications of this, especially for people who are kind of fucking racist, is really bad. I mean, exclusively for the people who are racist. It's a really bad implication that it wasn't, you know, it wasn't Indo-Europeans, it wasn't fucking people in the Middle East, it wasn't Northern Africans who created copper and eventually bronze tools, it was Native Americans. And thousands of years before these people created them. I thought it was pretty impressive. It's kind of wild. I'm definitely looking more into it, but they also had a relief. There's a rock at one of the lakes where there's a carving in the rock. And at face value, the carving looks like kind of a Viking ship. So that led a lot of, revisionist racists to say that the Vikings were the ones mining the copper here. But that makes no fucking sense because the Vikings were like, like fucking 10,000 years late. So, like literally 10,000 years late to the party here. So fucking, and it is an unfathomable amount of time. So it wasn't the Vikings who were mining this copper here. But people speculate, and they haven't done testing on it because, again, racism. Nobody wants to know. Like, most archaeologists don't want to look into this because of its implications, especially in the wider scale. But people think that these Native Americans, and yes, I think there were also some indigenous Canadians, too, because they would have gone across there. They had ships that were big as fuck, especially for Native American people. Like, most Native American groups only made smaller, like, canoes. There are some instances of some boats that are kind of like two canoes strapped together. But they would take a big tree and carve it out and make a canoe. That was the majority of the ships that people, or the boats that people made over here. If this relief is from the copper culture, then they were making ships to rival the Vikings to travel these lakes, and they would have gone to Canada. They would have traveled around the lakes. They probably even traveled outside of the lakes, and who fucking knows, they could have gone down south, too. Like, this was a highly advanced group of people well before even recorded history. To put it in perspective, these people were making copper tools before the fucking pyramids were even dreamt of, okay?
Yep. But yeah, they were in Canada. That red circle was in Lake Superior, which is the border between us and Canada.
Yep, so you bet there's probably some of these artifacts over on the Canadian side, too. Like, this was a huge group of people, and most people don't think it was a monoculture. It was probably a collection of cultures, different groups of people that all shared the same, like, production methods and shit. Another question with this is why use copper when obsidian, which was popular at the time this was happening, like stone tools, obsidian and stone, those are sharper than copper and better at doing shit than copper is usually. The thing with that is that copper tools are a hell of a lot easier and faster to make than stone and obsidian tools. So they at this time, this area has the largest deposit of the purest copper on the planet, okay? Because there was fucking crazy volcanic activity that happened like 60 million years ago there. So when these native people were around, there were copper pillars like growing out of the ground, effectively. Copper was everywhere at this point. The landscape would have looked totally different. And the reason we know that is because those copper pillars are still under the water in the Great Lakes. But they were on the land, too. So these people figured out this is a soft metal they could work into shit. And they created these tools. And they stripped the land of these copper pillars. And then when they needed more copper, they started mining it with stone tools, which we also have evidence of. There are stone tools that we found that they used to mine this shit. So it's crazy. It just goes to show that, like, we know nothing about our own past. You know?
Yeah.
This is before recorded history, dude. Literally. Like fucking 8,000 years before the first writing was created.
Yep.
That blew me away, man. And it's like, you don't hear about this because racism.
Yeah. Yep. Can't have that. Only white people did stuff.
Yeah,
that's what I learned from the Church of Trump.
the Church of but a lot of like revisionists say that, and this is ridiculous, dude. So the theory that a lot of these like fucking crazy ass racists have is that people from the Mediterranean and like Cyprus and shit, like, 'cause there was a shipwreck found off the coast of Cyprus that had super pure copper on it, these copper ingots from the Bronze Age. And because of the purity of the copper, they thought that it came from America, because America has the purest copper on the planet. The refutation of that is that we found fucking smithing equipment that allowed them to refine the purest of copper in the Middle East during the Bronze Age. So it's also, again, like thousands of years late. But the theory that a lot of these revisionists have is that they sailed from the Middle East all the way to America in the Bronze Age to mine copper at the Great Lakes and then ship it back to the Middle East, when we know that there was an international copper and tin trade that went from Northern Africa all the way up to fucking England in the Bronze Age. We know this. There was enough mines for copper and tin throughout the entirety of Europe into the Middle East and Africa to cover the copper usage, or to cover the Bronze Age. It's a fact. So they didn't do this. This is a separate civilization. We have a course here called Indigenous Canada. It's fascinating to find out. Yeah. Like, and this is the thing. These people were around immediately after the last, like, cold period. And they call it an ice age. We're still in an ice age. Look that shit up. We are still in the ice age. We're just...
we're in global warming.
Yeah. It gets, honestly, there's some people speculating that we're about to hit another, like, cold period, which would be wild, because that shit gets nuts. But this was after the last major cold period within this ice age. So people were just coming out of, like, basically a frozen apocalypse, and they snapped and started creating metallurgy. There's even evidence of them working silver. They had silver tools and shit that they smelted and used and everything. It's just like, it rewrites everything. This is like as big as Göbekli Tepe. I mean, this just fucking changes everything, man.
Yep. Yeah, that was the fun fact of the week.
Yeah. Native Americans beat everybody.
Yeah. And Michigan area is, the start of the modern age.
Yeah, literally the people around Michigan kicked off modern human innovation.
Yep. And then fast forward to 2024, and the Michigan area votes Trump. So they're the start of it and the end of the world. So it's amazing.
We killed off all the indigenous people too. So.
Yeah.
God.
Woo.
Yeah, fun stuff, man. Well, no, we're supposed to end on a high note.
Yeah. Well, I can't end on a high note, because right now the Lions are beating the Buccaneers, and I need the Lions to lose so the Packers can stay number one in the division.
Yeah, sports ball, man.
Yep. Sports ball.
I too love sports ball. Hello, fellow sports ball enthusiasts.
Yeah, that was our episode. It was fun. We talked about how basically our last protest did fuck all, and people are taking it like it's a victory.
Yeah.
A victory where nothing happened.
Back to brunch, folks. Vote blue.
Yep. We all went back to work, and 2 days after it, and we saw all the changes that happened.
Yep.
But, we need people to be educated.
Yeah. Read.
That's the moral of life. People need to be educated. Some people love the poorly educated and understand that smart people hate them. And for all the right reasons.
Yep.
But yeah, next week on our Talk a Better Worlds channel, we will be doing a Survive, Thrive, or Die, which is kind of a carrying on the last series, which is over since we lost. Next week is Dead Space, which is the one where we were supposed to die on if we made it that far. So it's just going to be like a interlude. This happened, but nobody knew about it.
It's an alternate universe.
Yeah, it's our Halloween themed one. It should be kind of fun. It's going to have a little bit of a slide thing, not like super deep, not like Sparrow did for us last month.
Yeah.
And then we'll be moving on to a new series, and that'll be fun. But yeah, check us out next week for Survive, Thrive, or Die, plus some news on entertainment. We'll talk shit on Nintendo, and we'll talk about Pokemon because, yeah, Pokemon's out and it needs to be talked about. Plus, I dropped a video on it today, which you can tell my point of view if you listen to it. Most people feel the same way I do. It just needs to change hands. Game Freak needs to either get up to date or move the fuck on. Oh, yeah, the Mariners need to win. I want to see the Mariners win the World Series. That would just be amazing. They've never won it before, and they deserve it. But I wish it was back in the day when Ichiro was with them, because Ichiro was the shit. But yeah, Blue Jays are just dominant. It'll be amazing to see them versus the Dodgers. Like the true two best teams in baseball head off. But
I like hot dogs.
Yeah, hot dogs. And you know where you can find hot dogs? At a baseball stadium. So it all ties together.
That's why I went to baseball. I would go to baseball shows just for the food, dude.
Yeah, baseball shows.
Baseball shows, yeah. That goes to show how much I know about sports, dude. Like, the only sport I used to watch was hockey. I may as well be a fucking Canadian. Like, I loved hockey, dude. I went to so many hockey games. I wanted to play it, too. I had a lot of hockey friends and shit. They're all assholes, man. The goalies are dicks.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yep. But if you watch the old cartoon, what was it, Rocket League? The goalie was the nicest person on the show. He was the
totally
nerd.
Inaccurate.
But yeah, anyways, check out our nerd stuff on the other channel, and we will be back here the first Monday of next month, which is that's the wrong screen to be click on the calendar. The 3rd, November the 3rd. Remember the 3rd of November, which is not the way it goes, but close enough.
Close
and we'll probably talk about that because, hey, that comes up to that holiday that nobody celebrates. Nobody acknowledges.
Treason, and plot.
Yeah, it fits in, though. But anyways, yeah, you guys have fun and take care.
Stay safe.